Quick disclaimer, I was planning to do this video multiple days ago. I know Harry 1 did this video, but I was already planning to do this video and I posted that on my community page. So yeah, I'm not stealing content. But let's get into the video. What's up guys, welcome back to the channel, and in today's video we're going to be talking about the best fighter of each age group in the UFC right now. And I've already done this similar style video. I did this yesterday where I talked about which age group is the best fighter. That's kind of where I looked at a group of fighters from that age group. But now we're going to be selecting one fighter from those age groups. Obviously, yesterday's video, we didn't include anyone outside the top 10. So obviously there was no people under 24, which is Tatsuro Taira. He's the only 24-year-old that's ranked in the UFC. There was no one below that. But now we're opening it up. Now we're just talking about one fighter in from each age class or each age that is the best for that age group. So yeah, let's start with 19 years old or 19 years of age. We got Meep, otherwise known as Raul Rosas Jr. Debuted on Contender Series when he was 17, I believe. Since then, he fought in December of 2022, I want to say it was. And that was when I think he was 17 still at the time. Maybe he was 18. Now he's 19, still the youngest fighter on the roster by a fair margin. I think the next youngest is 22, which we'll talk about in a bit. But Raul Rosas, showing good promise, definitely needs to polish up on a lot. But this dude's got fucking a decade until he even hits his physical prime, probably. Like, I wouldn't be surprised to see him move up to featherweight in like 5 years' time, probably. Which will be tough because he's going to climb the rankings of bantamweight and then go up to featherweight. But right now, you can't put him at featherweight just because he'll get smoked. He'll be too small there. But I do think he'll bulk up. I do think he'll be a bit bigger when he like fills out his frame, bro. He's 19. Like, I'm fucking 17 and I'm like, this is me at 17 recording fucking videos on my phone to post to my 10,000 subscriber YouTube channel. Raul Rosas in the fucking UFC as one of the like most up and coming prospects in the sport. Like, hey, I've got 2 years to do it, boys. Don't count me out. I'm making my UFC debut in 2 years' time. But no, Raul Rosas Jr., incredible fighter. Well, not incredible right now, but great prospects. Do I think he'll be a champion? No. I mean, it's hard to tell. Like, maybe he just improves beyond belief. But yeah, it's really hard to judge how good this guy's going to be based off a performance over Jay Perrin and then a win over, what's his name, Ricky Tercios, and then a loss to C-Rod, who missed weight and is a fucking retard. But I do think he'll have a good future, and he's definitely a good prospect. But let's move on to the next age. Next up, we got the choice between two flyweight prospects who are both 22 years old. Obviously, there's no one who's 20 or 21. Igor Severino was, I think, 20 or 21, but he got cut from the UFC after biting Andre Lima. So he's no longer in the promotion. So yeah, 22-year-old Ray Saruya, 22-year-old Josh Van are the best of their age group. I think they're the only two of their age group that I could find. It's really up to you. Who do you want to pick? Who do you think's better? Ray Saruya, who debuted and got a decision win over Carlos Hernandez, but again, has definite like grappling potential, or Josh Van, who's fought a few decent guys. He fought Charles Johnson, got KO'd, which was very unfortunate. But he's had some more fights in the UFC. So you let me know in the comments who is the better 22. I think right now, obviously, Josh Van's a bit more proven, but I think the upside for Ray Saruya could be very high with his grappling base. And also, there's a clear path for him opponents-wise, because he can just fight the same guys that Tatsuro Taira fought, because, you know, he's a Japanese fighter, beat Carlos Hernandez in his debut. You know, that's a Mexican that Taira fought. And so for all I care, you know, beat some Mexicans. We know Taira's racially motivated. Ray Saruya seems to be racially motivated as well, so we can test that theory. And there's a lot of Mexicans or Latino fighters in the flyweight division. But let's move on to another age group. Next up, Felipe Dos Anjos at 23 years of age. Look, there's a few other 23-year-olds. I think Cameron Simon is 23, but unfortunately, you know, sorry, Simon, you're not Drickus, bro. You're a bantamweight. You actually have to be technical. So yeah, that shit's not the Cameron. You have to run forward with your eyes closed. I never said to throw straight punches. You must run in throwing looping shots and get counter right hand KO'd. Good job, Cameron. But yeah, Simon, I don't think he's all that, to be honest. He could be. He might be real good, but I don't know. I haven't been that impressed by him. But Felipe Dos Anjos had a real close fight with Cap. Oh, not close, but gave him a bit of a scrap and pushed a bit of a pace in his debut. Since then, he won a close decision. But I think that's a similar thing that happens with a lot of guys, is they win if they come in on short notice against a real top-level guy, they look solid, right? They look real good, give him a tough fight, and then the next fight, they kind of look mid. But Felipe Dos Anjos, he's fighting, I think, next weekend against Andre Lima. That's going to be a really good test. Kind of think he might lose, but still, I think as far as 23-year-olds go, I'd say he's the best right now. But let's move on, though, to another fighter. Next up, we've got Tatsuro Taira for 24. He's the only 24-year-old who's ranked in the UFC. By far the best choice. Makayev, I don't know if he's 23 or 24, but he's no longer in the UFC. So we're only talking about UFC fighters. Disclaimer for any other future age groups. Bro, why didn't you put AJ McKee? Or why didn't you put Hanan Fahea? Like, I'm not fucking doing your PFL 37-year-old fucking heavyweight champ. Like, I don't care. I'm just doing UFC fighters. Call me a casual. I call myself an intelligent person because I don't waste my time watching B-League promotions. No, I'm kidding. I do watch some. Like, I'll watch for prospects, but I don't watch for... If they're the best fighters in the UFC, if they're the best fighters in the world, they'd be in the UFC. Don't come at me. But, yeah, anyway, let's move on to the next fighter. Tyra's really good. He's racially motivated, beaten a bunch of Mexicans, about to fight Royval, who's a former Mexican. He'll beat him too, and, yeah, should be good. Let's move on, though, to the next fighter. Michael Morales, Spider-Man, 25 years of age. He's got a good gimmick going on with the Spider-Man thing. That can work for him for sure. But he's real good. Just smokes Neil Magdalene around. Not many people smoke Neil Magdalene around. Ian Gary didn't smoke Neil Magdalene around. I'm about to talk about Ian Gary in a second. But, yeah, Michael Morales, again, only fighter, I think, in the UFC right now at 25 who is ranked. Maybe, I think Blanchfield is ranked. So if you want to go, oh, women's MMA, fuck off. But, yeah. Michael Morales, very good fighter, really interesting prospects. Look, he's looked kind of mid, like against Max Griffin, Jake Matthews. Like, he looked good, but not all that. But he just smoked Magny. So if this guy pushes offensive grappling, he's massive, pause. He's bigger than a lot of guys, pause. He's physical, kind of pause. It's not that bad to say. But Morales is real good. He's got a lot of potential. He's athletic as well, so he can definitely muscle a lot of guys around. But let's move on, though, to the 26-year-old. Now, this is where we might have some disagreement. I haven't watched Harry One of One's video. I saw that he did it, and I said, I'm not going to watch it because I don't want to, realize that I'm putting the same fighters as him. So if I am, fucking whatever. But this is where I think there might be some disagreement. Ian Gary or Song Yadong. I think those are the two main ones because with my video yesterday, I talked about best fighters or best age group for fighters, and the two 26-year-olds that were in the top 10 are Ian Gary and Song Yadong. Now, I think a lot of people would probably say Ian Gary, the kind of default settings, undefeated prospect. I think right now, if you're saying who is a better fighter right now, I think Song Yadong is a better fighter than Ian Gary. I think pound for pound, Song Yadong would beat Ian Gary in a fight right now. Look, if you're looking at prospect, who's a better prospect for the age, obviously you could say Ian Gary, less experience, less miles on him. Song Yadong's been around for ages. But yeah, Song Yadong has fucking fought a whole lot. His losses, Peter Yan, Corey Sandhagen, like, these aren't bad guys to lose to. He's really fucking good, Song Yadong. He's probably going to fight on that Macau card in November. I think he'll win unless he fights, like, Aldo, which he's not going to fight because Aldo's booked. But I think he beats a lot of guys. I think he beats Cejudo. I think he beats Font. I think he beats all these guys just outside of, like, the top 5, probably. Like, he would probably lose to Umar. Even, like, I think he beats Marab. Hot take. I think he stuffs Marab's takedowns, beats him in a 3-rounder. 5 rounds, maybe loses. But, yeah, anyway, I think Song Yadong's better than Ian Gary. Let me know in the comments. I might put up a poll on my community page. But, yeah, who do you think's better? Song Yadong or Ian Gary? Prospect-wise, maybe if you want to say who's more likely to win a belt, probably Ian Gary because he's in a less difficult division, but I think Song Yadong is a better fighter. Anyway, let's move on to the next age group. Ilya Topuria. Now, he's competing with Arman Tsuyukin and Jack Della Maddalena, but, as a undefeated 15-0, also champion of the featherweight division, just coming off a win over the greatest featherweight of all time by KO, CGI. Fight didn't happen, but Ilya Topuria is definitely the best 27-year-old right now on the roster. I don't know when he turns 28, but he's fighting Max Holloway in October. If he's still 27 by then, imagine being able to say that you've beat like the two greatest featherweights of all time, because I do think Holloway and Volk are greater on the featherweight GOAT list than Aldo. I think all time, overall, there is an argument that Aldo's higher because of the work at bantamweight. But I think both of these two have done more work at featherweight, had better wins, beat Aldo as well, both of them. And if this guy's able to say by fucking 27 years of age, if he's able to say by 27 years of age, I've beaten Holloway and Volkanovski, then yeah, fucking nuts. Like, dude, narcissism is the best base for MMA. Ilya Topuria is proving that. John Jones is as well. Anyway, let's move on to the next fighter. 28 years old. Umar Nurmagomedov is probably the pretty logical pick. Look, I think Nasruddin Imavov is very solid. Brendan Allen's not too bad, but yeah, if you're picking really, if you got to pick, you kind of, I think BSD's 28 too, but yeah, clearly Umar is probably better than both of these guys. But then Alan and Amavov, the two guys I had featured in my video yesterday. But yeah, Umar just beats Corey Sandhagen. It's a fucking real good win. Corey Sandhagen, like, if you just don't try, if you don't, like, automatically default to, like, champions, then, like, Corey Sandhagen is, like, a top 15 pound-for-pound guy, for sure. Like, if your definition of pound-for-pound, which is what it's meant to be, is just, like, who's the best, like, most skilled fighter, well-rounded fighter, Corey's fucking up there, bro. Like, fuck all these heavyweight guys. None of them are in there. It's like, if it's just skill, which it should be, even though it basically just turns into, like, a resume thing, then, yeah, it should be, Corey would be up there, and Umar beat him pretty cleanly, like, 49-46, 3-2, 4-1, maybe even 5-0. So, yeah, really impressive win there, and you gotta say he's the best 28-year-old right now. Let's move on, though, to the next age. Sean O'Malley, not much to say. He's real fucking good. I mean, he's competing with Shavkat. Ursek just lost, he's 29. And Spivak is also 29. So, yeah, he's not really competing with many other people that are like... I mean, you could be technical with him and be like, oh, Shavkat. If Shavkat wins the belt and O'Malley loses to Merab, then there's an argument for sure. But right now, you got to say he's the only one in his age group that's champion. He's definitely the best 29-year-old. Real good striker. He's probably going to KO Merab, even though I kind of want Merab to win because it'd be funny. But anyway, let's move on to the next age. Next up for 30, Dricus Du Plessis. I never said that I was homosexual. I only said that I like kissing men. It's completely different, completely. Dricus Du Plessis, yeah, he's, again, the only 30-year-old right now who's champion, I believe. He's competing with a few other good guys, but like former champs, Moreno-type guys, but no one right now that's on his level in terms of the most success that they're having, how good they're doing right now. So yeah, Dricus Du Plessis, definitely the real African and definitely the best 30-year-old on the roster right now. Let's move on, though, to the next age. For 31, Tom Aspinall, pretty clearly. I mean, he's competing again with some good fighters, but no one that, like, close to his level. In my opinion, the real heavyweight champ, not much of a hot take there, to be honest. But yeah, Aspinall, definitely up there. Definitely one of the best fighters pound for pound right now, let alone best for his age group. So yeah, Tom Aspinall, definitely best 31-year-old on the roster. And a heavyweight, this dude's got like another good 5 years minimum to just KO people inside a minute. So yeah, he's going to have some fun. But let's move on to the next age. 32, Islam Makhachev, pretty easily. He's the pound for pound number one, unless you ask Dana White, which is Jar Jones, the best ever. But Islam, pretty clearly the guy in my opinion for 32. He's real good. There's not much else to say. Let's move on, though, to the next age. For 33, there's a lot of guys to choose from. If you haven't already seen who the 33-year-old fighters are on the roster right now that are top 10, go watch my last video. But Merab, Strickland, and Whitaker, in my opinion, are the top three from that group. I don't think Merab's all that. I think he's just really got good cardio, but I don't think he's going to beat O'Malley. So it's between Strickland and Whitaker, and to be honest, I really don't know who's better. I know you could say Strickland did better against Dricus, but all round, I think Whitaker might be a little bit better. I'm not sure. It's up to you. Fucking take a guess. Who cares? It's one of the two. Anyway, let's move on to the next age group. 34 years old, Alessandro Pantoja is definitely the guy in my opinion. Oliveira's 34. There's some other good guys that are 34, but Pantoja's the only one that's champ. I think Wei Li might be 34. She's good too, but in terms of the dudes, Pantoja's obviously top of the heap for the 34-year-olds. I think Dan Hooker's 34 too. I think Ozdemir, Garn, Roundtree, these guys are 34. But yeah, Pantoja with his 2 title defenses so far, probably going to make it 3 if he fights Akai Sakura next. And it's annoying because I would have loved to see him get the belt like 3 years earlier and just see if he can actually put a run together and get like 5 or 6 title defenses. Because apart from DJ, no one else has been able to put together any title defenses at featherweight. Or flyweight, sorry. But he's probably not going to get time. He'll probably get chinned when he's like 35 or 36 or something. But anyway, let's move on to another age group. 35 years old, our Pookie Volk is the best fighter for 35 right now for sure. Fucking stand up for yourself, I fucking stood up and I got fucking KO'd with a head kick. But look at me now. Volkanovski. No, we love Volk, bro. He's definitely the best 35-year-old. If you ask Kenny Okoye, he'll say Adesanya. But Kenny Okoye's a little retard. Atam Lobov reminds me of a little retard. But yeah, Volk's definitely the best 35-year-old right now. Would still be a champion if, like, Topuria wasn't just, like, had hacks and was just able to just throw punches and immediately KO you when he does. Like, if he didn't have that, if Topuria didn't have the option to just throw 5 punches and one of them's going to KO you, then, like, Volk's still champ. But yes, I'm coping. Anyway, let's move on to the next age group. 36, remember the Plains, Bilal Muhammad. Look, he's not the most fun fighter, as Dana White would say. It wasn't a bone burner, was it? What's the question? Bilal? Yeah, well, we're looking to do Bilal versus, what's his name? Alex Pereira. That's what we're looking to do. Shavkat. October. Get ready, kid. But no, Bilal Muhammad, look, I gotta give him his respect. The win over Leon was really good. I was planning on doing like a, most impressive performances in recent UFC history, like, not like finishes or something like that, but like all-around decision wins that were just really good. I was planning on doing that video. I could still do it. It's a bit out of time now. I could do like Dricus' win over Izzy, put that in there. But yeah, I'm looking to do like a video, something like that. Most impressive, well-rounded, like overall performances. But yeah, Bilal definitely for 36 is the best. I think who else is there? Figueiredo, some other bums, no one else really. Let's move on though to the next age group. Alex Portan Pereira is the best 37-year-old fighter right now in the UFC, and yes, he's better than John Jones right now. Look, skill for skill, John Jones would probably beat him in a fight. But in terms of who's doing work right now, who he's representing, I don't even consider Jones that much of an active fighter. Like, if we're considering John Jones an active fighter, we're considering, like, McGregor an active fighter. Like, that's the kind of... I mean, obviously McGregor's fought way less recently, but, like, that's what we're looking at, bro. Where there's some guys that... You can't be fighting fucking... You can't have your last fight in March of last year and be considered an active fighter. Pereira, since March of last year, has fought 5 times, and he's about to fight his 6th time before John Jones even makes his return. Think about that. By the time Jones returns, probably at MSG, Pereira will have fought 6 times in that space. Those fights will have been lost to Adesanya, beat Blachowicz, beat Yuri, beat Hill, beat Yuri again, and he's about to beat or fight Roundtree in October. So that's going to be 6 fights in the time frame where John Jones has been out. Yeah, Pereira's definitely the guy for 37. Maybe you could say Jones would beat him in a fight by wrestle fucking him, but Pereira's definitely representing right now, probably the face of the UFC. Even if Islam's pound for pound number 1, I'd say Pereira is the face of the UFC right now. Let's move on though to the next fighter. Gilbert Burns for 38. Look, he's competing with Michael Chandler and Marcin Tybura, so it was a pretty easy choice. Again, Chandler, don't really consider him an active fighter, to be honest. But still, Chandler's good, but yeah, Gilbert Burns is the guy. Fought for belts, or fought for a belt. Lost to Usman, but, went to war with Hamzat. Close fight with Jack, lost, comeback TKO for Della Maddalena. Like, he's looking real good. Burns, at his age, still considered a very top-level fight, about to main event against Sean Brady in the Apex. I really hope he wins, even though... And he logically should, because I feel like he's better than Brady. But I just got a feeling Brady's going to win. But anyway, let's move on to 39. Big Meaty Hooks is a crafty vet. This is Josh Emmett. Big slugger Josh Emmett, big overhands, big meaty hooks. Definitely, he's the only ranked 39-year-old, I think, right now. Magny, maybe. Barboza, maybe. I don't know how old those guys are. They're up there. But yeah, Emmett is the only, I think, top 10. He's the only top 10 fighter who's 39. So yeah, definitely the pick here. Let's move on, though, to the next fighter. Jared Cannonier. He did lose... just ignore that little caption that I've got there. But he did lose to Borralho recently. That's all right. Not a bad look. Borralho's 31, I believe. Just a young fighter coming up. Real good. Got the fighting nerds plot armor. You're always going to lose that fight. Cannonier, though, still very solid. Still a top 5, 10-ish middleweight. Still, 2-fight loss streak, but early stoppage loss against Amavov, where he was probably going to lose a close decision, and then a decision loss to Borralho, where he did get beaten up in the 5th. But apart from that, it was probably 2-2 going into the 5th on my card. But yeah, Cannonier, real good fighter. Let's move on, though, to 41. Jan Blachowicz, Wonderboy's there too, he's 41, but I think Blachowicz is still just a step ahead. All round, well-rounded wise, I think he's definitely better than Stephen Thompson. I think, people forget, man, this guy took Alex Pereira to a decision. He's the only guy, apart from Bruno Silva, that's went to a decision with Pereira. So yeah, definitely, Jan Blachowicz still not missing a step, draw with Ankalaev and a close split decision loss to Pereira. This dude's still real good. Hopefully we see him by the end of the year. 42, it's Stipe. He's somehow still ranked, and yeah, I guess it's Stipe. But that's the end of the video, guys. I hope you enjoyed. Yes, I know I was not the first to this video, but it's an idea I was thinking of already, and I don't care about other people doing videos. I'm gonna do them anyway. But yeah, This is the best fighter in my opinion for every age group that there is in the UFC. Let me know yours in the comments. Let me know other videos you guys want to see, and I'll probably do them if they're not too crazy. But yeah, peace out, guys.